Hey yo, it's your girl Samantha Drees, the Black Barbie, the hostess of spirituality, and I'm here with another one. Strip Club Laundry Company presents Untitled. We're not titled yet. I'm just speaking from the rip, honestly. Um, uh, Today is Father's Day, so it actually is allowing me to revisit something that a segment that I wanted to do for Mother's Day, but at the time I wasn't really consistent with my content. So, but it does still ring. Uh, I usually am triggered around Mother's Day. My mother passed away when I was a child, so Mother's Day was always hard for me. And just a brief backstory about myself, I always struggle with fertility. So I lost a child. His birthday is actually on the 29th of this month, but he will be 8. Amir Deshaun. Um, so just going through the years, Mother's Day was just always hard. It was just hard to just be happy. Like, and then once I lost the baby, like I would try to sleep through it and shit like that. I just like, it was very depressing. But I had my miracle baby in the past year. He's 15 months, Marquet Coleon. The miracle, Marquet the miracle, Marquet the motherfucker, Marquet the monster. But as far as just the triggering goes, the whole segment about Mother's Day was going to be being motherless, being a motherless single mother on Mother's Day. But I don't know, the triggering still stands with being a single mother on Father's Day. You know what I mean? Like the type of feelings that just come up. First off, not to take away from the real men in the world, shout out to all the real dads. Happy Father's Day, happy Daddy's Day, because I love me a Father's Day, y'all know. I've been enjoying scrolling all day. Like, that's what her daddy looked like, because she hella pretty, so I get it. And her mom, oh, yo daddy fine, no, girl. What's it? Are they together? If you know me, nigga, don't. Oh, he cute, but is that his daddy? Like, that's me. I'm trying to see what's up with Pops. I don't know about y'all. But yeah, shout out to the real dads. But I know we don't supposed to take away from the men, but like I said, we are triggered. So what are we supposed to do with these feelings when we are triggered? You know what I mean? We're supposed to just keep sweeping shit under the rug for these niggas, or we gonna address this shit? Right? So let's address it. Fuck it. Let's address it. Fuck it. Nah, but nigga, my 1-year-old woke me up at like shit 7 something this morning. You know what I mean? Like, his pops, I'm pretty sure, was up until probably 7 this morning partying. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard. It's very hard not to be resentful. It's very hard not to be on no bitter baby mama shit. Like, now that I actually have a kid and I am a single parent, like, I see why bitches do this shit. Like, I entirely see why what would bring you to be like, fuck it, you can't see my kid. Because these niggas is inconsistent, they're fucking liars, they're manipulative, and they try to have control over you while they're not even in the household. Like, how are you trying to control me and I pay all of my own bills? Please, somebody please make it make sense. I don't get it. I just paid rent this month. What do you mean? Like, but just the co-parenting just dynamic is really difficult to deal with. It's stressful. It's very stressful. And I feel like a lot of times the mom it's a double-sided sword, because of course the men are always demonized, you know what I mean? And I feel like it's unfair that black men have this stamp on being deadbeats. You know what I mean? Like, you think a deadbeat father, the whole stereotype was with the black men, which our men stand up. You know what I mean? I have a father. My pops was a single parent. You feel me? My oldest brother won the custody battle. You feel me? Like, my pops won the custody battle. You feel me? So, like, I've grown up around strong black men who take care of and handle their fucking responsibilities. My ass didn't get lucky. But I was talking to my best friend recently about this shit, and it's like, I feel like I jinxed myself. Like, my teenage years fucking with niggas and shit like that, like, I was repetitive about the fact that I wasn't about to end up nobody baby mama. Now look at you. The universe has a fucking sense of humor. I really got humbled with this situation. So, but like just moving forward though, just talking about how I feel like just the stresses that come along with like being a single fucking parent. I am a trauma informed advocate, so I've been I'm certified in like domestic violence and fucking child abuse and fucking child sexual exploitation, like, you know what I mean, shit like that. Like, and being in these trainings can be very fucking triggering, you know. And when I was in the child abuse one, I just remember just seeing the statistics on how like the CPS cases and shit like that, and how like toddlers are at risk, and it made me think about how like my kid tests the fuck out of me, yo. Like, this nigga's been he's been toddlering me before he can walk. He's only been walking for a month. Okay, he's 15 months. Like, I don't know, but I have popped him a few times. You know what I mean? A handful of times, I'd say. You know what I mean? But like, I felt terrible for doing it. But it's just like first of all, as a black adult, how I was raised, nigga, there's so much shit that he does that, like, my grandma would have beat the shit out of him a long fucking time ago. You know what I mean? He's never gotten a whooping. I'm not gonna ever do that. But it's like, there are things that he does, and I'll reflect like, damn, like my elders would whoop his ass, but then I'm a very logical person, so I'm just like, but for what? Like, you would hit him because he's crying? Because he can't control his emotions? You know what I mean? You're going to display not controlling your emotions because he can't, and he's not supposed to be able to right now. You know what I mean? Like, you got to think about this shit logically. Like, and I do feel like, shout out to our generation for standing up and not carrying on this generational fucking curses. Like, all of our discipline, how we discipline our children stems back to fucking slavery. That's how they kept the slave in check. You know what I mean? So we carried this shit on for years, and shout out to us, shout out to these generations for fucking breaking that shit. Like, yeah, my kid might seem bad, but I'm not gonna beat the shit out of him because he's trying to explore life. You know what I mean? He doesn't know what the fuck is going on, and I want him to fuck around and find out. Shit, I'm not gonna let him die. But shit. But I would like, just going back, I'm sorry, I can go on a tangent and then get lost, but just in defense of moms, just trauma responses. I feel like while you're raising your child, moms have the same trauma responses for, like, as if it was some other big event, like some chaotic event, I should say. That's the word I'm trying to look for. Where your fight or flight responses come in. You know what I mean? I was referring to that with motherhood, and like, a lot of people don't know about the other two. We always talk about fight or flight, but there's also fawn and freeze. You know what I mean? And I feel like I was relating that to motherhood, and how the fight response with the mom, she's more aggressive. She beats her kid, trying to keep them in check because she's in fear that she's not completely in control. You don't know what the fuck is going to happen with your kid when they're not with you. And that's the hardest part. You know what I mean? And a lot of times moms take their frustrations out because, like, they do have to deal with the disappointment of the father. They have to deal with that fucking disappointment. You have to deal with the mom guilt is a thing, yo. Like, that mom guilt and if you don't know how to control your fucking ego, that mom guilt is gonna have you lashing out on people. You know what I mean? Like, but then there's also the other way. Like, mom guilt can have you depressed as fuck in the fucking bed, not moving. That's the freeze, my nigga. Like, the moms that freeze, they just are numb. They don't do shit. You know what I mean? Like, they don't have any fucking hope. Like, then we have the moms that fucking fight. Well, the flight. The moms that always dropping their fucking kids off. Like, but it's like, it's intimidating when you feel like you can't measure up. You know what I mean? Like, people look at these women like they don't, how I find my words with this? Because I love my women. I love my sisters. You know what I mean? Like, but I love my brothers too. I go to bat for anybody. I'm really an advocate. But I just feel like a lot of us don't even understand why we do the shit that we do. You know? Like, I love psychology. You feel me? I'm a professional student, nigga. Like, so I introspect like fuck. And that's why I could sit with you. And if you tell me enough about yourself, I could probably like really, once I get to understand you, for one, I can't really be mad at you, which sucks. Like, it's to a fault, because if I understand you, I can understand why you're fucked up in certain ways. And it is what it is, you know what I mean? Like, everybody not as strong as I am. So I can't knock you for that shit, you know? But, yeah, just back to just the whole, the flight moms. Like, the flight moms always dropping their kids off. Like, they can't deal with the stresses of being in the presence of this child when they feel like they can't mount up. You know what I mean? Like, it's a fucking trauma response. Like, and then we have the fawn. The fawn is when you glorify the oppressor. That's when you empathize with the oppressor. And that's, a lot of us do that shit because the oppressor, who in the fuck is the oppressor? The pops. And we keep giving this nigga chances because we want to make sure we're not keeping him away from his fucking kid, but he's keeping himself away from the fucking kid. You know what I mean? And like, how does it always translate back to the fucking mom? Like, it's such bullshit to me, especially as a black woman, because we already have that stereotype of being a baby mama. So if a nigga lying, it's easy for a person to believe him. But come the fuck on. The proof is in the fucking pudding, period. So I'm just like, I'm venting a little bit because, like I said, like, these holidays that come around, they could be a little triggering, you know? And social media doesn't make it any easier. That's why, like, I do, like, I log out a lot. I have my own life to pay attention to, you know what I mean? So I zone into other things, because zoning into other people's lives and it's like their reality is your entertainment, and sometimes the reality ain't what the fuck it is. So yeah, so all I really have to say is just like, be gentle with yourself, mom. Be strong. It's okay if you need time to yourself. It's okay if you don't like your kid that day. It's okay. Don't feel bad. You know, you're doing great. You can only do what you can. Always remember that shit. You can only do what the fuck you can. There are only 24 hours in a day, my nigga. And shit, if you're tired, you're tired. If you want to take a break, you can take a break. If you want to zone out and escape, nigga, do that. Like, nobody can write your story. Nobody can tell your truth, you know? That shit is tough. And self-care and taking care of your mental health is everything, you know? I make sure that I keep myself grounded. I have my spiritual practices that I do that really, like, keep me in a positive mind frame, you know what I mean? Outside of partying, because I used to cope with partying by partying, you know what I mean? Like, I had really terrible fucking habits. I feel like I convinced myself that I was balanced because I was still going to school, I still was going to work, I was still handling my business and shit like that, but still in all, I could have been taking way better care of myself, you know what I mean? And I feel like at those times, I wasn't taking good care of myself, and that's a reflection of how I was loving myself. How can I say I love myself when I'm putting all this fucking poison in my body all the time, and I can't even go a day being just like without being high or some shit like that. You know what I mean? That's not fucking self-care, my nigga. So in turn, I looked up and saw that everybody around me was not genuine. And retrospecting and looking back at all that shit, I wasn't loving myself. So I was attracting motherfuckers that was fake loving me too. You know what I mean? Like, so within, so without. You know what I mean? I've been on my spiritual shit. I've been learning a little something or another. You know what I mean? So, yeah, but this season, we loving ourselves. This season, we taking our power back. This season, we're setting boundaries. This season, we are being unapologetic about where we're standing with anything. You know what I mean? Like, this season, nigga, we're dating everybody. May the realest one win. God damn. The fuck? Nah. The fuck? Flock, bitch. All I gotta say is flock. You know, I just hope that there was some message in here. I know I was like going on a tangent. I'm new to this shit, but I'm true to it. You know what I mean? I've lived this shit, and I'm ready to tell my story. So, share my experiences, share my peace. I want to be your peace. I want to be your peace. You feel me? Like, I want to, like, help you find that shit, because this world is very chaotic, and coming from where we come from, nigga, the stacks been against us. You know what I mean? And a lot of us believe what the fuck they said we wasn't gonna be, and really became that shit. You know what I mean? But a lot of us didn't. And salute to you. You know what I mean? If nobody else proud of you, nigga, I am, nigga. And you better be too. Nigga, even if you don't give a fuck about how I feel, nigga, be proud for yourself. Be proud of yourself, my nigga. Like, that's how this shit go right now. So, I think I'm gonna end it here. And, thank you for having me. Thank you for chilling with me. Thank you for vibing with me. Thank you for hearing me out. You know, Samantha Drees, the Black Barbie, the host of Spirituality. I'm here to lead all you bitches to the promised land, myself included. And, yeah, I'll see you on the next one.